So I have personally been in toxic relationships more so when I was younger, and I feel like with my mindset it was more of a naive thing and just kind of like a pattern recognition thing with me. I feel like I didn't really know and understand myself enough to not dwell into those type of situations, and I felt like growing up I never really had an example of what love was supposed to be like. So at the time I felt like that was normal, but at the same time you know that it's not right. So I feel like a lot of times when you don't have that example and you don't have that understanding of like what is really going on, it can spiral and you can get into like a deeper kind of situation with it.
And I feel like you can kind of think that it's so normal. I've had the same experience where I've definitely had toxic love, and I'm thinking that this is what love should be like. And kind of like Cece said, I never had an example of a one-on-one relationship of that I can look up to, and kind of mimic that in a way, kind of like be a role model. So I think that toxic love definitely affects you, and it affects the way you love in the future. Because if you don't go to therapy, or you're not able to reflect on it, you kind of just carry that on into other relationships or other situations, whatever the case may be. And ultimately I feel like after my toxic love is when I kind of went on like my single journey, and on that single journey is really where I learned a lot about what is right and what is wrong. And it took me a long time to really realize that the culture that is shared in this world of every community, I'm not necessarily just talking about one, but every community, is sometimes not right. Especially what they promote in music, it's not right, and you're never gonna have fulfillment. And so I know a lot of people can talk about, oh, self-love, but at the end of the day, as humans, we always want to be loved. And we want to be loved by the right person. And sometimes the right person can come into your life, but you're so focused and you're so used to that toxicity that you miss out on that person, or you hurt that person along the way. Like most of y'all have probably heard, broken people make broken people. And so that's why healing is not just a one-time thing. It's literally an ongoing thing, and it's also about accountability, because if you don't know that you're broken, you can't take accountability to understand that you need to be healed.
I definitely agree. I feel like just the toxicity thing is just about being comfortable. A lot of people don't want to point the finger at themselves, and sorry buddy, but you're gonna have to do that. Like, you're gonna have to look back and be like, okay, what did I contribute to this that wasn't right? What did I put up with that I allowed myself to go through? Because that's the thing, a lot of times we allow ourselves to go through these things, especially as women. We have intuition. You know that probably wasn't the best situation, or you know you probably shouldn't have done that, but you allow yourself to go through it because you're comfortable. You're comfortable with being that toxicity because you don't want to be loved, because you don't have enough self-love. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Like you have to have a certain understanding of yourself to where you're like, I don't want to get into those type of situations. But if you don't have that backbone and you don't have that will, then you're going to continue the cycle of just toxicness.
Comfortability comes attachment. And with attachment becomes a cycle of, I know I should leave, but I'm scared of leaving because I don't know what life would be like without this person. And I feel like a lot of people are probably, of course love is never perfect, but a lot of people are stuck in different types of relationships because they don't have nobody else to really run to.